Our session 2 focuses on the academic aspect of the inclusive learning spaces. Our objectives are to build inclusive and supportive learning spaces and to empower students to lead their own learning. An inclusive academic environment or space is not one size fits all. Rather, it is responsive, reflective, and flexible. It encourages differentiated instruction, promotes learner agency, and ensures that both the physical and pedagogical spaces are accessible and affirming for all the learners. From the intentional design of the classroom layouts to the curation of relevant learning materials, academic inclusivity creates a sense of belonging where every student can see themselves reflected in the curriculum and feel empowered to succeed. So please allow me to share some practical examples that will support the academic aspect of the inclusive learning spaces. The SLC or Student Led Conference is an annual event that happens in school. So it starts from nursery or early years program until grade 5. So the classroom setup or the decoration depends upon the creativity of the teachers and of course with the collaboration of the students. They have to ensure that all the subjects learned in that specific grade level are represented or are being displayed inside the classroom because that will be the basis of the students to explain the growth that they have all throughout the process, the academic growth that they have all throughout the process. So this one is just a signage. One of the classrooms that I visited, this is the signage that they have outside the door. And just to give you an idea of what happens when the student presents the work. So this is just an introduction.
Also, we learned about how to write the name in sign language as well. So this is A, N, B, Y. And so my name is A, N, B, Y. And
So this one is the actual thing that the other student is doing.
conference. Before we begin, may I kindly ask you to switch your phone into silent mode so we can enjoy the special life without any interruptions? I'm so happy you're here. Today, I'll take you through my learning journey. My teachers help me prepare, but I will be the one giving this one. Feel free to ask any questions along the way. Let's begin the tour of learning.
What is our learning targets?
Our learning targets is I can choose the right tool to measure weight of the wall. Number 2, I can measure how heavy things are.
This one is Wall of Fame, and it celebrates diverse forms of excellence, recognizing students from different backgrounds and abilities, which promotes a sense of belonging and definitely motivation. So, by highlighting various achievements, be it in academics, in athletics, in service based, or artistic point of view that the kids have explored, this reinforces that every one of them, their successes are being mattered and making the learning environment more inclusive for them. The language profile is true for all the grade levels in school. So this is a part of the inclusive learning space as it acknowledges that each student's linguistic background. It supports their identity and cultural heritage, and it informs differentiated instruction, and ensures equitable access to learning by valuing all languages spoken within the school community. I think there are around 5 to 6 languages that are spoken in our school, but definitely English as the medium of instruction, and a host language, which is Bahasa Indonesia, is also appreciated and valued in that sense. Thirdly, the Mandarin or the Chinese language, and the languages that are present in school serve as barometer to support the student's best language for optimal performance. School assemblies and Instagram pages are key to creating an inclusive learning space by fostering a community and celebrating diversity. So both the in-school and social media allow the students to celebrate their achievements, express themselves, and amplify diverse voices by highlighting the students' work and inclusive initiatives. So these portals strengthen school culture and make it more accessible, supporting a sense of belonging for all the students. If you can see here on the left side, this is a celebration or an announcement celebrating the successes of the kids when they won the Bahasa Indonesia essay writing contest. And in the middle is a talk show, a mini talk show that the grade 12 students initiated. So what they did was basically to invite all the smaller kids, and they share their passion in reading, trying to convince the students and motivate the students that their passion of reading leads into something else, such as critical thinking and comprehension skills. And the last one that you can see here are the current students that we have in grade 12 who are newly accepted in the Ivy League schools wherein they are really, really aiming for. So these are small successes that the students are having and that the school recognizes and celebrates all their achievements. This is the junior researchers activity wherein it supports the academic aspects of the inclusive learning space by fostering active participation, collaboration, and critical thinking. So their engagement in research themes are aligned with the grade level's collective decision that encourages student-driven learning while proposing topics, conducting interviews. So if you can see there, they're conducting interview with me, but the questions are done prior to that. That is basically, or questions that are basically aligned on how they're going to answer their research questions. And after which they are creating a blog, and it allows them to apply academic skills in real world context. So presenting their research during assemblies promote peer learning and advise diverse perspectives, enriching educational experience for all of them. So parents are invited, other schools are invited, so that they will be able to witness the work of the students. And by sharing their findings with a broader community, the junior researchers contribute to a more inclusive, dynamic, and accessible academic environment where all voices are valued. Again, all voices are valued, and they have the opportunity to engage in a more meaningful dialogue. And they definitely entertain also the idea of other individuals asking questions related to their studies. And you can see the critical thinking aspect, the communication skills wherein they confidently respond to the questions of those visitors coming in to witness what they have done. If we have junior researchers, we also have senior researchers. And if you can see here on the screen, we have two boys. They are grade 10 students. Now they are in grade 11. They were able to create a simple machine to produce tempe. Tempe is a Javanese, food, which is soy, fermented soybeans, and for many Indonesians, this become a staple protein source food for many. So instead of doing or fermenting tempe or soybean for 5 to 7 days, it reduced it to only 3 days, so which is really a big thing. So when the students were successful with their work, they were able to present it in the government, and they were invited in Austria to present their work also there. So these are some of the things that definitely encourage the students to explore the academic aspect of the inclusive learning spaces. So even from the small thing, and then later on it becomes a big thing. But usually the researches that they have come from the problems that they are encountering around them, and then they create a possible solution to address that issue. Another aspect of supporting the academics in terms of the inclusive learning space, specifically in the library, is the fiction genre and the color coding. This came into a realization when we experience a good number of students coming to the library, and they keep on asking, can you recommend us with a book with this specific genre and all these things? So I gather the staff and then think about how can we ensure that these things will not keep on repeating and repeating for many times. So we sat down together and customized a symbol for a specific genre. Say, for example, adventure, animal. So these are customized things. And these stickers are placed on the spine of the book so that every time the student comes to the library and asks the same questions, so we direct them to the fiction area and ask them, try to explore the different types or genre of the book, but you can look at the spine and you can see there the sticker that represents the genre that you're looking for. So it will be a lot easier for them to source and identify the book that they're having. More so, this is also supported by the definition. If you can see here, their history, stories that took place in the past. So if they are not aware or they are not sure of what the title is all about, they can always click the sticker. They can always click the icon and find out the description. So these are all the things that we're having inside the classroom to ensure that the students are attended in a very, very quick manner, and that also reduces the work of the librarian. And in terms of color coding, try to, if you can see that there's a yellow arrow pointing to the blue one and the other one pointing to the silver one. So the different color codings represent the different collections in the library. Silver talks about fiction, English fiction, and then the blue talks about the fiction or the fiction of the Bahasa Indonesia. So at the end of the day, the work of the librarians are very, very minimal in the middle school, because students know already where to return the book. So we'll just have to ensure that all those things are ready for the following day. But basically, this develops the sense of responsibility for the students to return the book in the proper place. This reduces also the work of the librarian, and this becomes more efficient for every member of the school community to search for the genre of the book that they are looking for. Decoding assessment criteria visually. One of the concerns of the students when they are writing, especially with the essay, is how are they responding to the criteria. And that is one of the very, very concerns that they have. So, what we have was to explore the possibility for them to decode the assessment through the aesthetic format. So, for example, they will have to come up with their own visual representation, and that visual representation turns the abstract criteria into a clear, accessible guidance, not only affirming how they understood the criteria, but also conveying to others that this is the standard way to address the specific criterion based on the requirements. And this one becomes also a self assessment, and students take that sense of ownership of their own learning. So, this is what they did. And towards the end, since they're also working with a 4,000 word essay for external submission, they also have to come up with their own, shall we say, what will be their promise to ensure that the paper will be submitted on time. So they came up with this is what I'm going to do in order to address the submission on time and the quality submission on time. Inclusive academic spaces align with SDGs, especially SDG 4, by ensuring equitable quality education where every learner can thrive regardless of background or ability. So, as part of this, students not only read the books, but they also curate the books and recommend them to their peers, and promoting peer led learning and a shared culture of inclusion and collaboration. So, this is what's really happening at this time. So, let me share with you how it looks like, because the SDG books and collections are curated, and then it's something like a minimalist area wherein it's stuck or displayed on the pillar. So let me show you our SDG book nook. We made use of the pillar to display the books related to the SDG. And if you notice, the words are translated from English to Bahasa Indonesia to support the country's language, or the language mother tongue language of the students. So this is the back part. And finally, from a far distance, this is what you can see. Yep. So we hope that the students will be able to enjoy those things, and we will soon be sharing this one in our library channel. Thank you. For the smaller ones, uh, nursery until grade 5, we initiated or the Venusian reading level. And these Venusian reading level collections are curated resources from the library. But In this case, what I did was to came up with a criteria considering the font size, the illustrations, the word count of the books. And then after coming up with the criteria, I sent a letter to the parents because I wanted the parents to be involved in the different activities of the school. So many of them responded that they're willing to help the library. So when a group of parents came, I sat down with them, gave an orientation that the Venusian reading level is to help our students, the struggling students that they have to somehow from this stage to the next stage until they feel that kind of achievement that they reach already, the 10th level, which is the highest level that we created. So they were happy to identify the different books, the different genre of the books, be it non-fiction, fiction, and they assign it to the certain category of the Venusian reading level. So this has been quite some time. And what happened was every time the teachers come to the library, they will just have to direct the students to that certain area, and the students just get the books based on the color coding. Red represents Venusian reading level, and the criteria is like this one. So students would know where to go because students are somehow directed by the teachers what specific level they are at. And once they feel they're ready to go to the next level, so they will have to get again a different color coding. So this is what they have. So this one is from Venusian reading level 1 until Venusian reading 10. What happened then if the student is or a student has reached already Venusian reading 10? Students are allowed to go to the middle school library wherein they can enjoy selecting other books that are not found in the elementary library. And that is with the consent of their respective teachers. And that becomes a reward for them after reaching Venusian reading level 10. This is the instruction for the language profile activity. So using the human body template, write down all the languages that you can speak, write, or read, and use different colors to indicate your comfort level with each skill. So Tonka will be sharing with you, passing the colors or the crayons and the template for you to write on, and then shade the part that represents your language abilities. After which, try to write how and where you use the language. And finally, share your output with your co-participants. Thank you.